almost a month back, Google released Gemma 2, and I've been willing to test this model out, but I haven't for some reason. So I've been trying out Llama 3 in order to generate comments using AI for my extension Ollie, but there is one big problem with Llama 3, and this is not the first time I'm facing it. So let's say if I'm trying to comment on this post, I'm currently using Ollama to run this, and over this video, I'm also going to walk you through how you can install Gemma 2 locally so that you can use it for use cases like these. But you can see, firstly, the model currently, the one that I'm using for Llama 3, 70 billion, and it adds this at the top. So here's a congratulatory comment on the post, and then it adds the comment itself. So this is something that I've specifically told the model not to. And also there is one other issue where it kind of runs in an endless loop, and I'll add the sample or link to the video right now. So I created a RAG chatbot using Llama 3, and when I try to generate the answer to that PDF chatbot, it kind of endlessly gives answer in a loop, right? So it kind of messes up the whole response that I receive from the model. So these are the kind of issues I've been facing with Llama 3, and I just want to see if Gemma 2 can fix it. In the meantime, let's kind of quickly take a look at the benchmark. Firstly, the model is very, very tiny, right? It has 9 and 27 billion parameter variants. Llama 3 has 8 and 70 billion, but you can see benchmark wise, it's better than the 8 billion parameter, and the 27 billion parameter is almost as good as 70 billion. Note that this is the Llama 3 twice the size as compared to Gemma 2 right now, almost as good as Llama 3. From the reasoning standpoint, again, very close. From HellaSwag, which is again reasoning, we don't have the parameters for 70 billion here, but the reasoning is very, very good. Again, this is 10 shot, meaning there were 10 examples that were fed to the model with the answer before it was able to reason well, right? So these are too many examples, to be honest. From the GSM 8K standpoint, you can see it's way better than Llama 3. Again, it's 5 shot. From math, we don't have the benchmarks here. And if you evaluate from the Grok model standpoint, it's a 314 billion parameter model, but Gemma 27 billion parameter model is actually better than this model, right? So it makes the model insanely useful for small use cases or use cases where you require some sort of fine tuning to make it work. The smaller the model, the better it is for you to fine tune it, because it's not going to cost you a lot of money to run the fine tuning because it has very few data in the model already. Second, because it has very less data, the output that it gives is going to be less hallucinated, right? So again, comparing it with Gemma 1 here, you can see it beats in a bunch of different parameters, but it's almost as similar to Gemma 1.1. Now in here, if you look at the video that is posted here, they basically talk about how a company called Navrasa used Gemma 1 in order to train and build a model that is specific to, say, a variant of Telugu language here in India. Now, Google is trying to promote Gemma for use cases like these, where you want to use fine tuning to make the model specialized in something, right? And I love it because this is a lightweight model, meaning at some point you will be able to fit it in a mobile device like this, but still get an output that is almost as good as GPT 3.5 or GPT 4 mini. But that's again a distant future. But if you look at the benchmarks, I think it's not too far. We're advancing or moving to that future very, very fast. Second, you don't need a model as smart as GPT-4 in your mobile device. You basically need some assistance with respect to generating certain languages and so on and so forth, which small models like these will enable you to do. Okay, so how do I install Gemma 2 in my PC, right? So in order to install this, it's simple. You need to download Ollama, and thanks to this framework, installing any large language model locally has become very, very easy. If you click on download, just choose the operating system you have. In my scenario, it's macOS, so go ahead and download. If you have Windows, go ahead and download it again and then install it. You need it running here, so you should be able to see in your status bar here or somewhere here in your Windows PC. So after you go ahead and download it, next you need to go inside the models and need to find the Gemma model here. It's on the top right now, so go ahead and click on Gemma 2 and then copy the Gemma model here and then paste it in the, or I'm going to start a new terminal. So once you're here, copy this command and paste it here. This will download the Gemma model for you, and once it's downloaded, it's 5.4 GB. So once it's downloaded, you should be able to see something like this. So when I type hi, I'm actually talking to the Gemma model that is in my computer right now. The great part about Ollama is that it also allows you to use this as an API as and when you want. So there is an entire documentation with respect to how you can do this. I can find the docs here. And if you read this, you can actually set it up in your PC and use this as an API. That's what we're doing here on Ollie. We're using the local API in order to generate data for our extension. So anyways, now that we have the model running, and if you don't want to go through all of this, by the way, you can still go to aistudio.google.com, and in here you can create or choose Gemma 2, either 27 billion or 9 billion parameter, and then start talking to the model. So I was able to generate some, content for testing the GSM 8K, MMLU, and all of these benchmarks that the website has mentioned to see if the model is really that good. So I have some programming based questions, and then there are some human evaluation based questions, GSM 8K questions. Let's try some of these. The first one I'm going to try is the programming based question from Python, and I'm going to be copying this question and I'm going to be pasting it. Now, obviously, I've also told the model to print the answers for us, so we will verify if the answers are correct. So you can see the first answer here is correct. And then this is the second command. Let's copy this and paste it here. It says the output will be 5 and 7. If I look at the output, that is correct. I'm going to be copying this one here and I'm going to paste that in here. So it seems that it does understand what the SQL query will do. So programming wise, the basic checks are in place. Now let's try to, add some math questions, or let's try to do some more, logic programming based questions. So I'm going to be adding this question here. Write a function that takes a list of integers and returns the second largest number. And then I'm also sharing an example input. So it's now writing the code. So it seems it was able to write a function that does that. Let's ask a math based question now. The answer for this one is 12. So if 15% of 80 students are left-handed, how many students are left-handed? So again, very simple math based question. Let's see if the model is able to answer this correctly and how fast it's able to do. So that is the question itself is correct. And again, this is grade school math 8K, right? Which is actually a data set that contains 8K questions from grade school math. And I just want to do some basic testing. Obviously, there is also the MMLU, and there are other reasoning based questions that you can feed to the model. But for now, I think it can do basic things, which is what I was looking at. And the model kind of does work. So now for the use case that we've come here, right? So can I connect this with Gemma 2 and see if the model is able to generate the output for me? Right now it's Llama 3. I'm just quickly going to add support for Gemma 2, and then I'm going to share the screen again to see if you're able to get proper comments using the Gemma 2 model. So you can see I've added support for Gemma 2, and I'm going to test if the model is able to generate better comments with the Gemma 2 model. So again, you need Ollama running here, and there are a couple of other things that you need to know in order to make the extension run with Ollama framework or Gemma 2 model. Going to click on comment, and then I'm going to say support. And let's see if the output generated here is better than the output that we generate from Llama 3 model. Again, it's expected that it will take some time. So honestly, it is way better than I expected. You can see there are no double quotes. There is no extra info, straight up comment just like I wanted. Let's try it again. You can see the comment that is generated looks good again. Again, what we've used is just a 9 billion parameter model. It's not even 27 billion parameter model, which I expect to do way better. But to be honest, as of right now, I'm really happy with the results I'm seeing. And probably I think this is going to be the default model that I recommend people who are using Ollie as the extension right now. So let's also go ahead and try it again, because I'm sure there might be issues the third time. No issues. It was able to generate the comment just like I wanted, in the tone I wanted. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the generations that I'm seeing. Again, if I switch to Llama 3 in here, and if I try generating something after I switch to Llama 3, let me refresh this. So let me go ahead and quickly add a comment on this. I've been seeing a lot of issues with Llama 3 in general use cases too. And I don't know if I'm with respect to the model that I am using or, the variant of the model that I'm using. You can see it adds this weird, here's a supportive comment on the post text, and then generates the comment in double quotes, which is not what I want in the prompt and not what I've specified in the prompt. So Gemma 2 will really work for me because it works exactly like GPT 3.5 or GPT 4 or Mini should work, but it runs locally. So we don't have the problem to, worry about paying for the OpenAI API key. Let me just try it again after I switch to the Gemma 2 model. Here you go. It works as expected. So really cool. And I hope you guys are also able to try this out for your use cases. In my opinion, it's working way better than Llama 3. Even in the benchmarks, it does say that it's almost as good as Llama 3, but based on what I've used so far, I feel pretty confident with respect to the model itself. Obviously, there are more things that I'll do over the next few weeks and keep you guys posted on how it goes. But the initial feedback and the problem that I've been long struggling with can and is now fixed because of Gemma 2. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next.